on a sweaty brow. Finally, stop for this track. Go where the dead man goes. Go where the dead man goes. In my bones, go where the dead man goes. Go where the dead man goes. Go where the dead man goes. Feel it all in my bones. Gonna go where the dead man goes.
July 25th, 1895. My dearest Vic, I shall catch you up on the events after my last letter here shortly, but know that I'm happy to report that the Pullman strike has finally broken, and I am rail-bound for Northern California with the last few dollars that the financial crisis hasn't taken from me deep in my pockets. Less are as fortunate. Even on the streets of Los Angeles, I saw many holes in shoes. As you know, when you and I met, I had just started this venture of mine, the business of sin-eating. Since then, it feels like we've traveled non-stop, always missing each other by a train stop or two. It gives rise to a feeling of homesickness if I dwell on it for too long. I miss the simple days back in our family's orchards, and now I find myself traveling further and further than I have before. I wrote a few letters home to my mother, as you suggested, but each letter of my own is met with weeks without a response, and when a response is given, it is usually a short note hemming and hawing about my transient life and the shameful work I carry on in the shadow of my father's legacy. I don't care to linger on the thought. Work is work after all, and I am my own man, not beholden to some company or society or another, which is worth its weight in gold. Lately, with every work-related outing, I am haunted by the story you told me about your trip to Cairo and your encounter with a being of what you called the demi-monde. I still think it was a spirit by the way you described it, but us working at an intersection of folklore and science, I shan't make any assumptions about what is lurking in the shadows of the world, especially in the parts that I haven't traveled to yet. Funny word, that one. Demi-monde. Curious enough, I was recently reminded of the word. I saw it in one of those penny dreadfuls you enjoy so much. It was about a gunman from eastern Texas joining forces with a couple of Englishmen to find a vampire, or something of the sort. It was a right graphic thing, and now I find the word burned into my everyday parlance. Do you like them, those obscene pamphlets, because they act as validation to your experiences? A shred of proof that they aren't just some sort of hysteria or womanly-like imaginings like the fellows out in New Brunswick like to put over your head. I suspect that's how I feel. Validated. If I were to put words to it. Validated that my experience is not a fever dream. That there are those, at least, that could imagine what I witness. I admit, I had to visit a colleague out of the Chinatown in Los Angeles to understand the meaning of the word demi-monde outside the context in that novel, and the tangential use in your story about the fiend in the crypt. My colleague, Song, specializes in the use of mirrors in spiritual practices, but they are also a wellspring of information. You two would take kindly to each other, I think. They noted that in the French tongue, demi-monde translates to half-world, and that it's an unjust moniker given to the women of the sex trade by some old pod of a writer or another. Though you probably know all this, and you would undoubtedly be telling me that I'm explaining that which you already know, with that careful smile of yours. I assume that when you and your team use the word, it isn't in a slight against ladyfolk, but rather it's a word to give to anything that isn't from our normal, civilized society. Things that would wear the word man in the same way that one wears a mask to a ball. Things that might dwell on the fringes of our collective understanding. The proximity of death can do horrid things to the mind, you know. Sometimes the presence of the spirits I'm trying to commune with are so overwhelming in their despair or grief that it feels like a physical weight has been added to my chest, choking me as if I was going purple on the rope. Vic, The train is rolling into a station. I'm gonna see if I can't rustle up a bite to eat in the dining car between stops. When I'm comfortable on my next post, Blackwater, California, my letters will continue at their usual pace, full of drawings and everything for you. Until then, I hope you are taking care of yourself. Tell your brother I said hello. Most of all, be safe. Your friend, Conrad Ward. Thanks for checking out Dead West. Lucas Martinez was our conductor, Devin Steffens was Conrad. This episode is written and produced by Devin Steffens. For ways to support the show, check the show notes. But one of the easiest ways is to share it with a friend. See you in the next one. Stay safe out there, travelers.